C60 olive oil is a popular choice for people wanting to activate their full potential. Improved sleep, faster recovery, and more energy are just a few of the amazing comments received from our customers who take a spoonful a day. Make C60 oil a part of your daily routine and see what it can do for you. Activate your potential today at thec60company.com.
There's a story. I won't go into it now, but I might next week or the week after because it's developing. What's happening in Mexico is extraordinary, and of course it's not getting coverage in most of the American media because they don't want Americans to know what's going on because they don't want the southern border protected and sealed. Because just over the border in Mexico, horrendous things are happening. A whole family of Americans were murdered this week in the most horrific way, just across the border. And the drug cartels are at war with each other and at war with the government. And through Mexico and the drug cartels, enormous amounts of drugs is being trafficked into America, and the completely porous border, which the Democrats do not want to be sealed, and many in the Republican Party don't either. It's causing devastation to lives of people in America through drug abuse and drug addiction. And one of the things that's going to come out is eventually is the connection between that and China. You know, people remember the horrific opium wars when the British Empire systematically got the Chinese people drugged up and addicted to opium so they could basically take the country over. Now what's happening is China is doing it to America via these drug cartels in Mexico, and there's got to be more come out about that eventually. Another story I watched this week was the state of California, by the way. Oh my goodness me, what's happening there? I mean, I've been there relatively recently, a few times. It's horrific what's happening. When we were shooting the movie Renegade, part of it was shot in San Francisco. I'm walking through San Francisco, and I went to San Francisco a long time ago. I've been there many, many times. It's not the same San Francisco. It's unbelievable with the homeless, the drugs, and everything. And California is a completely politically, and San Francisco is that's where area that Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, represents, is a completely woke, politically controlled state, and San Francisco, a completely politically woke city, just down the road from the area officially known as Silicon Valley, and where all the billionaires are. And California and San Francisco are just testament to what happens when you let the woke mentality get control, political control. It's absolutely horrific. The state is being destroyed. Now, there's another fascinating interview I saw on British television this week. I actually saw it on the internet, but it was a British television program where they had this guy on, a millennial, who was complaining that learning about World War II in school is not good for millennials' mental health. I wonder what it was like for the mental health of the kids that fought in it, mate. What do you think? And this is classic. The weak people that are being turned out systematically in ways I described earlier. Not only to support the end of freedom of speech, indeed in the end their own freedom of speech, if ever they want to differ from the norm, but weakening them so that everything is a crisis and everything is trauma when it's called human life. And there's also this part of this agenda is targeting white people. Now, where I'm coming from, I don't see myself as white, brown, whatever. I see myself as consciousness, having a brief experience as a human. But for some reason, which I explore in the books, they have this targeting of white people. This is why you cannot be racist against white people. It's impossible. But say the mildest thing about people who are not white and you're racist. This is not by random chance. And this is a story from this week. Oklahoma City police investigating "It's okay to be white" flyers as potential hate crime. Police in Oklahoma City are investigating "It's okay to be white" flyers that were posted in the Oklahoma City University School of Law as a potential hate crime. Although authorities acknowledged that the flyers were not believed to be a threat and that posting them wasn't a crime because no property was damaged, the individual responsible is under investigation anyway. Now, if the person doing it and saying it's okay to be black or it's okay to be Hispanic, okay to be Chinese, whatever, okay to be Asian flyers, not a problem. Because it's okay to be white, immediately it's a problem. And this is how the agenda works. See, all I want is fairness and justice for all. That's not what the agenda wants. Investigators are trying to determine his intent and whether the actions are a hate crime, reports the Associated Press. Law school Dean Jim Roth said the OCU is intentional and relentless in supporting diversity, and the hatred and exclusion will not be tolerated. What about excluding white people from the same things that are allowed for everyone else? Is that exclusion? This is the hypocrisy, you see. Meanwhile, in another incident, a sign that read "It's okay to be right" was hung on a bridge over a highway in Massachusetts. A local ADL, Anti-Defamation League spokesman, said the message excludes people and targets people. Why is the Anti-Defamation League, which is supposed to be about protecting Jewish people from discrimination, why is it always interested in protecting or targeting white people who had nothing to do with the Jewish issue at all? Why did the ADL condemn a 9/11 investigator researcher for posting that people heard bombs going off in the towers before they fell? He never said people heard bombs planted by Jewish people before the towers fell. He just said a basic fact, provable truth, that people heard bombs or bangs going off, whatever the explosions were, immediately before the buildings fell. And the ADL condemned him for saying that. An organisation that should be just about protecting Jewish people from discrimination. ADL is a disgrace to freedom. And the ADL said, a man who tore the banner down said, "Being white is such an advantage in society, and suggest otherwise is just straight out racism." Well, that just... What about the white people living in the streets of Los Angeles and New York? Huh? Just amazing. We now have this story too. That there's a place in the west of England. I've been there. It's a lovely place. It's called Bideford, and it's known as the Little White Town because of some writing that was done about it. And so on its boards, name boards, when you enter the town, it says Bideford, the little white town. And it doesn't relate to Little White Town, i.e. white people town. But even so, because of complaints that it's racist, they've now had to change the wording on the board to point out that it's not racist. The Devon town of Bideford has decided to change welcome signs, referring to it as Little White Town, amid complaints of racism. Bideford has been known as the Little White Town for more than 150 years, after author Charles Kingsley coined the phrase in reference to its large number of white buildings. But in recent years, concerns have been expressed that there is a racist undertone to the title and it should be scrapped from all the signs around the North Devon village. Now, of course, the reaction from the council should have been, what? Get a life. But it's not. They've changed it. It's just extraordinary. This is how the woke tyranny is imposing itself on the world. If it was called the Little Black Town, by the way, because there's lots of black buildings, not a problem. Little Brown Town, little any other colour of the skin town, because the colour of the buildings was that colour when Kingsley wrote his article or his books. Not a problem. This is what I mean by they're not interested in equality, which is all I want. Same for all. Now, this is a time in Britain where we're in the period of the remembrance service to the dead in wars, the 2 world wars and other wars. And the symbol, of course, that people wear and buy so that the money can go to causes to help those affected by the war, is the poppy. And so the poppy is just a national symbol for the millions of people who gave their lives in war, of whatever sexuality, colour, background, creed. But now we have an LGBTQ poppy with multiple colours on it. Is there nothing that can't be hijacked by the narcissism of the woke agenda? This is a story. A Brexit Party candidate has said the remembrance poppy should not be used to promote political issues such as the LGBTQ and all the other letters that follow often, community. Man, if there's 100 genders, mind. Crikey. How long is it going to get? 100 letters, I suppose. Nicholas Goulding is running as the party's candidate for Edisbury, Cheshire, in the forthcoming December 12 general election. An unofficial version of the Remembrance Sunday poppy is being used to represent soldiers from the LGBTQ community and is being sold online. Now, if you want inclusivity, there's nothing more inclusive than the red poppy because it represents everyone who gave their lives in wars. It's totally inclusive. But no, because it's not about inclusivity, it's about exclusivity. But the whole world's a bloody inversion. Trevor Colt, a former soldier and Military Cross recipient, posted a tweet expressing his outrage, which the Brexit Party hopeful Mr. Goulding retweeted. The original tweet said, "If you're gay, bi, trans or whatever, I don't care. You have a Pride Month to celebrate who you are. Please don't take over the one day a year where I get to remember my friends and all those that died for this country. Leave the poppy alone and have some respect." Well, I really can't put it better than that. So I'll move on. Ricky Gervais, the comedian and actor, he made a joke, and now I've just got to close the other curtain. Now the sun's moving around. He made a joke this week, and a joke is something that you must not do anymore. Woke and joke may rhyme, but they have no other connection. British comedian and star of The Office, Ricky Gervais, has drawn the wrath of the PC Patrol for a tweet making fun of a transgender activist, Jessica Yaniv, who took a wax parlour to court in Canada because they refused to wax his dangly bits, which he has because he's in a man's body, but he identifies as a woman. It's a very strange bloke. I'm not saying, it's strange because of his sexuality or anything like that, or his claimed sexuality, but his behaviour is very, very strange. Anyway, his, her, whatever, they. And what Gervais said was, I'm going to dress up as something weird and creepy for my Halloween party, but I'm booking the trend this year and I'm going as brave female activist Jessica Yaniv. Yaniv is the Canadian transgender activist who shot to notoriety last year when she sued 16 beauty salons for refusing to wax her testicles. Her testicles, yes, that's how mad the world is, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody else. The women who ran the salons all refused to do that. And a human rights tribunal ruled against Yaniv last month and ordered her to pay compensation to the salon she drove out of business with her complaint. Though described as a sex pest and a pervert for her role organising topless pool parties for children, Yaniv had her fans who turned out to slate Gervais for his bigoted and transphobic tweet. Come on, Ricky, wrote one, you've done some funny stuff over the years, but this is just odious and bigoted. That's what, this whole woke mentality, the most, one of the most potent parts of it is the lack of a sense of humour. One of the most balanced things that we can do is laugh at ourselves, because that shows a self-confidence that you can laugh at yourself. Yeah, God, that's ridiculous, wasn't it? Oh yeah, I know. And if you can't do that, and narcissists can't, then I think you've got a problem. And I'll just finish on this just to show that it's not anything about sexuality, this crazy woke you must believe what I believe or else mentality. Finish on this story. Yoga teacher is banned from using church hall because classes are not compatible with Christian beliefs, even though a local vicar takes part. A yoga teacher has been banned from using a church hall after being told her classes were not compatible with Christian beliefs. Asuko Kato, 54, has been teaching yoga for 25 years, including one class attended by a local vicar, and tried to book the church hall at Pilton in Barnstaple, Devon last week. But the church told her yoga cannot be allowed because it does not acknowledge that there is only one God and that Jesus Christ is God himself. Yoga originated in northern India and has connections to both Hinduism and Buddhism. But Ms. Kato hit back and described the stance as outdated and claimed yoga has evolved into an exercise for everyone to enjoy. In one of my classes, I have a female vicar, and they don't seem to have concerns, so I struggle to understand what the problem is. I've never done a class in that hall before, but I was looking forward to a new venue when I phoned and I spoke to Pilton Church Hall. They asked me what I wanted to hire it for, and I said to teach yoga, and they said that they could not tolerate that for it if it was for yoga, and claimed yoga is not suitable for a church. We are a society that, and it's not everybody, it's not nearly everybody, but the loudest voices, they are creating a society in which only their beliefs matter and no one else's do. And it's driving divisions all over society. And it's all planned. And it manifests in many and various ways through vast numbers of people who have no idea it's all planned. But this, what I believe is right, so what if you believe you must be wrong, is destroying human society.